80 excuse to walk, I guess. God, I'm having a rough morning. My body hurts today. I'm gonna keep going, I think. We'll see how far I make it. Oh my gosh. Maybe I'm too old to run. I quit about 6 months ago. I broke my foot, and today is my first day back. I've gone like 10 feet. I've got at least 30 more to go. So my body doesn't hurt. I just feel so out of shape, which is so weird. Because in the bike, I never really feel out of shape. I mean, for an old bag. Not in the shape I used to be in. So today is day one. And we'll see if my feet heal. My family has a history of neuropathy, which I really hope I don't get, but it feels like I'm getting. The balls of my feet will get real sore. I pay attention to running. I was a barefoot runner, and so I have pretty good form. I'm landing on the balls of my feet and cushioning, but there's always room for improvement. Oh, holy hell. This is like some kind of medieval torture. It's been too long. Maybe I should have speed walk. I didn't know how long you're supposed to run in life before it starts beating you down, but I feel I'm pretty beat down, which is fine. I can go do a long ride later. I've got an eye doctor today, which any trip to the doctor causes me extreme anxiety. And I think maybe I'll talk about that medical malpractice when I'm somewhere. I'm gonna walk, fuck yeah. When I'm somewhere where I can actually talk and not having a seizure. I'm getting to the hills. Well, the hill's behind me. I'm gonna get run over. And, having left chest pain, which I will talk about when I'm back at my desk and can talk. It's likely nothing. Or I shouldn't say it's likely nothing. It's caused by anxiety from a bunch of things. But also, I tore a muscle, cut in my shoulder right there on the backside. And they say it will never heal. And so I get a sharp pain there. Which they're like, oh, that's what hurt. I'm having a heart attack. I guess this is how I go. Because I'm not gonna ever be a victim. And I'm not gonna stop living my life. When my day is up, my day is up. I'm going full steam all the way till then. One way or another. But I have extreme medical anxiety. And so when things like this happen, it's the thought that I might have to actually go see a doctor and my whole system just shuts down. That's where I'm going later today. 2 o'clock. I'm so not up for this. Okay, I'm on my wind down, and I'm gonna wind down. All my hills are gone. It's an easy jog walk home, which will complete the shortest running circuit I've ever done in my life. Day one. This is the end of it, downhill. I go down to the beach, stretch a little bit, and then have a nice, slow walk. Do a little lockstep, push out any acid in my legs. Oh no, my phone's down. I wish the dog was with me. She's a little kooky this morning, so when I get back, we'll go on a big sniff walk. I made it. God, it is so beautiful here. This is, without a doubt, the most beautiful summer ever. So, 2 little boats. I think that's a McGregor 70 or 65. I don't know much about boats anymore. I haven't gone too long. And it's officially August here. It was just over there before. What do we have here? Koru. Sounds Japanese. I bet I know them. Oh, it is so beautiful here. I don't know what to do. Gosh. Okay. So I've almost survived day one. I just have to go home, stretch, and take the doggy sniffing. She is a little schizo, and noises or anything docks make her crazy. And today was one of those days where every single piece of gear I had failed, all probably my fault. She was being schizo. So I took her home and went out and pushed through, and it's only 7:30. She usually doesn't want to walk till 8 anyway. She's lazy like me. So I'm going to wrap this up, go clean off my desk, and talk about medical shit. Man, it is bright out. Well, I survived the first part of my doctor's office visit, and I have another one Thursday and another one Monday. It just kind of keeps going. I would explain or try to explain a little bit of where this is a small portion of the trauma, but going back about 15 years, I was having some balance issues and some dizziness issues. So I went to the doctor just to see if they could help me get glasses. And it must have been, I either had insurance or didn't have insurance, or for some reason I went to the doctor. And I told him my symptoms, and the doctor just freaked out, like, you just had a heart attack. You need to go to emergency. And I'm like, I didn't have a heart attack. Like, you had a heart attack, you have to go. They got me all freaked out. And so I went to the emergency room. They set the whole thing up for me. So they were waiting for me when I got there. And they rushed me through all the things and tests and everything. And of course, there's nothing wrong with me. I tried to explain to the doctor, it's just my eyes. I always had these symptoms. I've had these symptoms for 40 years. And so there was just another strike in the medical community. And I was already a little apprehensive. I had cut my finger off with an axe. And I definitely didn't have insurance then. And I also didn't have ID. And so I got turned away from every hospital in Bellingham. And then finally, I went to a place that I guess specializes in, I don't know how to say this, non-residents, people that aren't supposed to be in America. Anyways, I went there, and by the time I got in there, the doctor's like, well, there's nothing I can do, but you did a great job of patching it up. I guess it was too late. Anyway, so I've kind of had a series of things. And then about 5 years ago, my eyes were getting really bad, and I had insurance, but I didn't have the right insurance. And so I tried to go to my local doctor. I'm like, hey, can you get me a prescription? Because I can't see. I'm going to get fired. And I can never get a job anyways because I can't see. And so if I can somehow BS my way into a job, then it's always a fight to not get fired because I can't see shit. And so she's like, well, what's the problem? And I told her all of my symptoms. And she's like, it sounds like you just had a heart attack. And I was like, I did not just have a heart attack. They did this to me before, and they sent me to the ER, and there was nothing wrong with me. And she's like, well, let's just do an EKG for fun. I'm sure. Why not? Let's do an EKG for fun. So I did. And she said, I want to say it was an elevated lower ST. I don't remember. Whatever it is, I Googled it, and it's called the Widowmaker. And I was like, I didn't have a heart attack. There's nothing wrong with me. And she's like, if you don't get on the life flight and go to the hospital right now, it's likely that you won't live to see tomorrow. That's a $38,000 helicopter ride for 15 minutes or whatever it takes, because I didn't have helicopter insurance. I can assure you I have helicopter insurance now. I did not get on the plane. I drove to the mainland and up to Bellingham, which was hours between the ferry and everything else. And then, of course, I stopped outside and I had a smoke because I used to smoke. And I was completely unconcerned. I walked through that door and she had called ahead. And the girl's eyes bugged out. And she ran out and she pushed some button and got me in a wheelchair and practically ran through the ER with me. And I get into a room and they stripped my clothes off. They had 3 or 4 different people pulling things, doing things, putting needles, doing all this stuff. It was crazy. I was like, Jesus, all this. And then I just lay there for an hour and a half, and then the doctor comes in. He's like, tell me what happened, Alan. And I told him, and he's like, next time ask him to run the EKG again. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you, and we don't see any indicators that any event happened, and they just had a misreading on the EKG. Strike two. You're gonna die if you don't get on the helicopter till morning. And to make it even worse, I went into my medical records, and that doctor, nurse practitioner, went back and changed what she had written to completely erase everything that she said. Anyways, so then I go back to her the next week, and I was like, well, there's obviously nothing wrong with me. Can you please help me get glasses? No, you have the symptoms of a brain tumor. Until you go down to Seattle and get a CAT scan, we're not going to help you get glasses. I'm like, what? She's like, I'm not going to help you get glasses until you do all these things. I'm like, I need these or I'm going to lose my job. Now, I think you have cancer. I'm like, what next? Do I have to take a fucking pregnancy test? What do I have to do to get help getting glasses? Anyways, that was strike number 2. There's probably 100 strikes, but that was a big deal. And then in Bellingham, a couple of years ago, the same thing happened again. And this was kind of different, kind of the same. I had this thing where I was just sitting around doing nothing, and my blood pulse would go from 55, which is my average, up to 150, 60, or 70 out of nowhere. And it was really disconcerting. And so I called the local clinic, and I guess I had insurance or I didn't. I don't know. I've spent a lot of money on hospital bills for when I can't get insurance. I can tell you that. Like, a lot of money. I usually just pay cash. Anyways, we went in there, and it seemed like everything was going good. And I said, I've been misdiagnosed before, but this is really weird. I don't know why this is happening. And they did the same thing. They freaked out, and they sent me to the ER. Again, a waste of space in the ER. And again, nothing. There's absolutely nothing wrong. This is the third thing that's happened. But then, for whatever reason from that, then they sent me to another doctor. And then that had me going on 2 full years of being poked and being prodded. And, oh, we think there's this and we think it's that. Whatever it was, it went away. It lasted for about 6 months, and it sucked. Like, to have your heart rate go that high is fucking nuts. I don't do drugs. I probably had already quit smoking. I wasn't drinking. I wasn't doing shit. It just kept happening. And then it went away. And so now there's been so many of these things. Like, they actually sent me to a blood test place. I don't know what you call it. And the guy yelled at me and threw me out of his office saying that there's nothing wrong with me without even doing a blood test. And then last year I had a blood test done, and I have all these crazy allergies that he wouldn't test me for. So anyways, I'm probably not telling the story very well, but I've been run through the system of the medical thing. So now, like, if I cut my arm off, I'm going to go back and see if they can put it back on, or if my head falls off, see if they can screw that back on. But other than that, I'm traumatized and absolutely fearful. I for days before having to go to the hospital, like, whatever's happened in my brain, it's turned, and I have no faith and I have no trust, and I just live in a complete trauma place. Every time anyone even mentions, Kimchi even lied to me. She's like, oh, we just have to go to the eye doctor once. And then I got to the eye doctor. She's like, well, we'll talk about it next week. I'm like, next week? Because there's another one that she wouldn't tell me about because she knew I'd freak out and wouldn't go if I knew there was that many. Anyways, whatever. Who cares? This is just the ongoing saga of my life. And we'll see if they can ever get anything fixed, or likely not. But yeah. Fear of doctors, it's a real thing. I gotta go. It's really hot. My dog wants a walk. Man, my quads are blown. Doing a very gentle ride on the big bike to stretch out my legs, and also just trying to burn as much energy as I can. There's so much anxiety over going to the eye doctor today. Oh no. People, what do I do? Okay. I have to muscle around this when I get close. I'm close. Okay. Small trails. It is peak summer. I never see anyone anywhere. Another month, this will all be over. So, yes, blowing as much energy as I can, so I can calm down, so I can go to the doctor. I don't have my head explode. It's going to anyways. They have a list of things they're not allowed to say about my eyes, and they always say them. They always just send me through into another dimension, but that's what 40 years of living with this shit will do to you. It makes you a little cuckoo. I'm out.